What's up, world? This is Coach D, spiritual life coach. You may say, what made you want to become a spiritual life coach? It's just as you get older, you start to realize your pluses and your minuses, right? Your pros and your cons that you've done over the years. And I'm happy to say that I'm comfortable where I am, right? But you can never forget the journey or trying to help those to avoid those pitfalls that can give them a leg up in life. You know, I grew up without my dad. Wasn't around much. Saw him very seldom. But there were some other men that had stepped up to the plate in my life that made a difference. Even if it was a small difference, they still made a difference. It affected me in a way that altered my mindset and how I thought. Now being at the executive level of management, I come across a lot of gentlemen. I'm in the supply chain industry, and a lot of forklift drivers and guys I've met, and supervisors I've hired. And a lot of these young men, I see the neighborhoods they come out of was some of the same neighborhoods that I was in when I was their age. It was this one man in particular. I had to discipline him for something that he did. And he came in my office and he was giving me his spiel. And then at the end, he made the comment, everybody wasn't born with a silver spoon in their mouth like you were. And I just stared at him. And I'm like, what did you just say? Everybody wasn't born with a silver spoon in their mouth like you were. Or is that a fact? So after I let him get it all out, I told him we're going to go off the record and we're going to talk heart to heart. You see, he came from the same neighborhood I did, Inglewood, Chicago, Illinois. Probably one of the roughest neighborhoods I've ever heard about that I didn't know. Because when you grow up in it, right, that's just your neighborhood. I never really thought about how bad it was. It never dawned on me. I figured whatever was happening in our neighborhood was happening in everybody's neighborhood. So it just never was something that I paid any attention to. And my mom, bless her heart, being the religious, God-fearing woman of Jehovah she was, she was a Jehovah's Witness, and we didn't come out and we didn't do that stuff. And so I was oblivious. I mean, you're talking like 4th grade. So I had no clue. I was in Inglewood until I was in 8th grade, right? So I'm telling this kid this story, and he's just staring at me. I say, yeah, I know that street. Yeah, I know that block. We used to pay wine heads to get us liquor on that block when we were in 7th grade. We grew up fast. But one thing we always did was we played ball and we were competitive. We had a competitive neighborhood. Man, we competed in everything. I don't care if it was running down the block, who can get to that red car faster. When the light turns green, we took off. Those were bragging rights when you were the fastest kid in the neighborhood. Back in those days, I think I was number 2 or 3. The good days. And so I'm telling this kid this story, and I'm watching his reactions, and now he's starting to ask me questions. Well, what did you do? How did you get to where you are now? At that time, I was the regional quality manager for a shipping company. And I was running Chicago, St. Louis, Missouri, and Denver. And so I started telling him. See, it wasn't an easy ride. It was a very hard ride. But I never jumped off and stopped believing if I kept taking one foot in front of the other and took advantage of the doors that was open to me and paid attention to the people who were already in those roles and people that I respected from a professional standpoint. I don't care if you was on a garbage truck. Don't get it twisted. Those guys make good money. I wanted to know, how did you do it? You start telling me about the application process and started paying attention to business. At 16 years old, I ran away from home, living in the streets. Working at McDonald's during the day and bussing at Denny's at night, and slept in the backseat of my car in the whole process. I remember getting a fake ID. Back in those days, you had to just cut the back. Remember that? And you get the super glue and seal it back right on the little line, and you switch the pictures. Man. And I remember late at night, I went into this place called the Cherry Inn Motel when I was going on my 17th birthday. And I remember my guy was telling me how his brother had stayed there, and there's weekly rates, and I don't have to sleep in the back of my car if I can just get in there. And I couldn't get no adult to co-sign for me to get this place. So with my fake ID, this dude was over there talking about the game or something. The Cubs was on, and I'm talking to him, and I drop my ID down, and I'm distracting him, and I say, "Hey, you got change so I can get some bubble gum?" And he's giving me change, and I'm talking about the game. "Oh man, you just got a hit." And this dude ain't never looked down at my driver's license, not one time. And I remember when I got the key to that room, and I opened up that door, and I went in there and laid on that bed and fell down. That was probably the greatest achievement of my life. And I felt like I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep stepping. I'm going to keep chasing my dreams. Let me ask you a question. Can you still be successful even when all your dreams fail? Let's say you write all your dreams down that you want to achieve, and all of your dreams that you wanted failed. Can you still be successful? We're going to talk about that. Dwayne's World with Coach D. Stay tuned.